Ho'opono Pono, it's also called a Hawaiian healing technique, which is currently being spread more by Dr. Len Hew and Joy Vitale. There is a book named Zero Limits. They wrote a lot about this Ho'opono Pono technique. I would like to read one small excerpt from the book. It was published in 2010 or so. One small excerpt I would like to read so that everyone is on the same page. So, 2 years ago, I heard about a therapist in Hawaii who cured a complete ward of criminally insane patients without ever seeing any of them. The psychologist would study an inmate's chart and then look within himself to see how he created that personal illness. Let me repeat. The person would read the chart and look within himself. How, because of him, he created that illness in them. As he improved in himself, that patient improved. When I first heard this story, I thought it was an urban legend. How could anyone else heal by healing themselves? How could even the best self improvement master cure the criminally insane? It didn't make any sense. It wasn't logical, so I dismissed the story. However, I heard it again a year later. I heard that the therapist used a Hawaiian healing process called Ho'opono Pono. I had never heard of it, yet I couldn't let it leave my mind. If the story was all true, I had to know more. I had always understood total responsibility to mean that I am responsible for what I think and I do. I keep sharing, right? If even a person is coming and slapping you, it's not their mistake. There is some imprint within you that is causing them to do. Or to some extent, what we think, what we do, what we act, it's our responsibility. What other people do is usually beyond our control. Sometimes we think like that. But beyond that, it's out of my hands. That's the perspective. I think that most people think of total responsibility that way. We are responsible for what we do, not what anyone else does. That's what we think always. The Hawaiian therapist who healed all those mentally ill people would teach me an advanced new perspective about total responsibility. His name is Dr. Ihaleakala Hew Len. Ihaleakala Hew Len. We probably spent an hour talking on our first phone call. I asked him to tell me the complete story of this work as a therapist. He explained that he worked at a Hawaiian state hospital for 4 years. That ward where they kept the criminally insane people was very dangerous. Psychologists quit on monthly basis. Every month new psychologists came, they used to quit. People would walk through their ward with their backs against the wall, afraid of being attacked by patients. It was not a pleasant place to live, work, or to visit. Dr. Len told me that he never saw patients. He agreed to have an office to review their files but never saw the patients. While he looked at those files, he would work on himself. As he worked on himself, patient began to heal. After a few months, patients that had to be shackled were being allowed to walk freely, he told me. Others who had to be heavily medicated were getting off their medications, and those who had no chance of ever being released were being freed. I was in awe. Not only that, he went on, but the staff began to enjoy coming to work. Absenteeism and turnover disappeared. We ended up with more staff than we needed because patients were being released and all the staff was showing up to the work. Today that ward is closed. This is where I had to ask the $1,000,000 question. What were you doing within yourself that caused those people to change? And the doctor replied, I was simply healing the part of me that created them. And Joy Whitley didn't understand. Dr. Len explained that total responsibility of your life means that everything in your life, simply because it is here in your life, is your responsibility. You are responsible for everything what's happening in your life. In a literal sense, that entire world is your creation. This is tough to swallow. Everyone take a deep breath on this. We are responsible for the accidents, we are responsible for the wars, we are responsible for every single thing around. Yet the truth is this: if you take complete responsibility for your life, then everything you see, hear, taste, touch, or in any way experience is your responsibility because it is your life. This means that terrorist activity, the president, the economy, anything you experience and don't like is up for you to heal. They don't exist in a manner of speaking except as projections from inside you. I know this is tough to grasp, let alone accept to or actually live. Blame is far easier than total responsibility. But as I spoke to Dr. Len, I began to realize that healing for him and an Ho'opono Pono process means loving yourself. If you want to improve your life, you have to heal your life. If you want to cure anyone, even a mentally ill criminal, you do it by healing yourself. I asked Dr. Len how he went about healing himself. What was he doing exactly? And he looked at those patient files. Said, I just kept saying, I'm sorry, I love you, over and over, again and again. He explained. That's it, was the question. I'm sorry, I love you, that's it. Turns out that loving yourself is the greatest way to improve yourself. And as you improve yourself, you improve your world. Let me give you a quick example of how this works. One day, someone sent me an email that upset me. In the past, I would have handled it by working on my emotional hot buttons or trying to reason with the person who sent this nasty message. This time, I decided to try Dr. Len's method. I keep saying silently, I am sorry, I love you. I am sorry, I love you. I didn't say it to anyone in particular. I was simply evoking the spirit of love to heal within me. What was creating the outer circumstances? Within an hour, I got an email from the same person. He apologized for his previous message. Keep in mind that I didn't take any outward action to get apology. I didn't even write back to him. Yet by saying, I love you, I'm sorry, I somehow healed within me what was creating him. I later attended a Ho'opono Pono workshop run by Dr. Len. He's now 70 years old, considered a great grandfatherly shaman. In short, there is no out there, everything is within you. It would take a whole book to explain this advanced technique with the depth it deserves. Suffice to say that whenever you want to improve anything in your life, there's only one place to look in, that is inside you. When you look, do it with love. Anyway, how many of you are feeling wowed with this? Type in the comments, wow.
Wow! That was amazing!